Georgia Tech team at 6-5, bowl eligible for the first time since 2018. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough along with Greg McElroy. Delighted to have you with us. Greg, we really have to marvel now at what this Georgia football program is doing, trying for the third straight regular season to go undefeated, 44-1 in their last 45 games. Tremendous.
It's unbelievable. And the amount of turnover that they've experienced. I mean, losing all those guys off the 21 team and then losing all the guys off the 22 team on offense, including their quarterback, Stetson Bennett. But Carson Beck has filled that void at quarterback admirably. He's about as efficient as you'll find in all of college football.
And Bowers came out during pregame warmups. He moved well, but I just got word from Georgia's staff that Bowers is out for this game. So is their right guard Tate Ratledge and their wide receivers Ladd McConkey and Ra Thomas, all not going to play tonight, guys.
The high level in the state of Texas. He's among the most explosive runners at the quarterback position in the sport. He has 24 carries of 10-plus yards. That's fourth behind Jalen Milroe, Castellanos from Boston College, and Jaden Daniels, who's a Heisman front runner. At this point, he is dynamic with his legs, but he's got to hit some big throws downfield against a great Georgia defense.
Georgia Tech won the toss and elected to take the ball first, so Jared Circle will kick off for the Bulldogs. Ordinarily, it's a touchback, 53 touchbacks at 84 kickoffs. And that one will be a touchback as well. Christian Leary elected not to bring it back. They spread the field. Georgia defensive coaches told us a lot of times when they do this, it's to spread people out and have King on a design run. This one is a throw. Has a man open. And it's caught. There's a flag down. Right as the catch was made by Eric Singleton, the true freshman, with Malachi Starks there for Georgia. It's an ACC officiating crew. That's the Georgia Tech Conference. In this non-conference game, Tim Hedgepeth, the referee. So that wipes out a 31-yard play.
So you see Singleton, tightrope and silent, right foot down out of bounds, right at around the 46-yard line. He was not forced out. If he's forced out, then you can come back in, establish your presence inbounds, and make a play, but he was not. He went out of bounds on his own accord, which led to the illegal touching, and a big play wiped off the board for the Jackets.
Smart, a defensive back for college football Hall of Famer Jim Donnan. 3rd down and 6 for the Jackets. For Singleton again, and it's too long. With Tyke Smith in coverage. So here comes Carson Beck. He waited 3 years to get his opportunity in his 4th season in Athens. Junior from Jacksonville, Florida, out of Mandarin High School where he won a state championship. That's 73% completion percentage. If he can maintain it, will be the single season school record by far. Stetson Bennett set it last year at 68.3. That's 6th best in the country. He's averaging 302 passing yards per game. Number 8 in the country. He's the only quarterback in the country to pass for at least 250 in every game. Dejon Edwards. The ball comes out, and right now no whistle. Kenan Johnson has it for Georgia Tech. Kirby Smart said one thing the Jackets can do on defense is take the ball away.
Very opportunistic group, as you can see. Edwards trying to drive forward. Kyle Eford, the player of the game last week for the Jackets, gets a hand on it. Looks as if that ball is dislodged. And a huge play there for the Jackets defense.
They've had their struggles on defense, but they do take the ball away. Came in with 21 takeaways, tied for 10th most in the country. And they're throwing a wide open receiver. Brett Seither, the former Georgia Bulldog, still fighting for every inch against his former team. And they're going to rule him stopped at the 9-yard line. But you know, he and Dominic Blaylock, a couple of Georgia transfers, are fired up to play their old team tonight.
Especially how they responded last week. 75 yards and a touchdown on the opening play from scrimmage. and just 200 yards the rest of the way.
The only other team to give up a touchdown 5 straight games in the SEC on an opening drive was Vanderbilt a couple of years ago. That's in the last 20 seasons. They fake the reverse. Haynes King, the touchdown. You know, the Georgia coaches said we can't let Haynes King beat us with his legs. He was untouched. 9 yards and another early deficit for the Dogs. And there are plenty of Georgia fans here. As a matter of fact, there's more red and black as you look around the stands. And that's not unusual when they come here to Atlanta, about 70 miles from Athens. Dominic Lovett runs out of bounds with a 12-yard gain and a first down. Yeah, there are Georgia fans literally everywhere you look around this historic stadium.
Amazing just how packed this place was early on, too, with Georgia fans. They were loud in the pregame.
Kendall Milton through this leaky Georgia Tech run defense, which gives up 222 yards per game on the ground. Only Louisiana Tech and North Texas have been worse.
Now he's playing at a crazy high level, just 12 starts into his career.
They said if he had to play in recent years, they were not afraid. Has a ricochet and an interception. Off the ricochet, it's LaMiles Brooks with the second takeaway in the opening half of this first quarter. And a 17-yard return for the junior from Jacksonville. Low throw. Rusty Acree in the replay booth deemed that this pass hit the ground, kind of short hopped into the foot of Dominic Lovett. You can see clearly it did. So no interception. No second takeaway of the night for the Georgia Tech defense. And it'll be 2nd and 10 for Georgia at the 29-yard line of Georgia Tech. Midway through the opening quarter, Carson Beck, 3 out of 4 passing for 24 yards. Here comes a Jackets blitz, well picked up by Edwards. A man is open. It's Lovett with the touchdown. They blitzed and did not get there, and Lovett has the score, his 3rd of the season.
Excellent protection by Edwards. Eford's coming at 100 miles an hour, completely stoned, which allows Carson Beck a clean pocket to throw the slot fade to Lovett, a route that he made so many plays on at Missouri, and they just haven't had the opportunities to hit those here in the first 11 games of the year, but they hit one there. Excellent protection, excellent throw, and a big response from the Bulldogs.
Now the pistol. Haynes King faked the handoff. And has another man open. It's Singleton again, out of bounds in Georgia territory.
To do, knowing Haynes King's skill set, but their formations and identities very comparable based on the experience he had at Georgia.
On 2nd and 10. King flushed, sets. Singleton, a nice catch. And a first down for Georgia Tech at the Georgia 29-yard line.
Georgia had no answer as Haynes King went untouched to the end zone. You'd imagine Brett Key's going to be very aggressive tonight, so might have 2 downs to get it here. So I anticipate quarterback run here on the 10-yard line.
Toss to Dante Smith, and he's dragged down short of the first down by Smile Munden, the inside linebacker, and very close to the first down, and they are going to go for it.
A little bit like a speed option where Haynes King holds it for just a half second and does a quick pitch. Very close there by Munden. Looked like he grabbed the back of the jersey, but it was a good effort by him as he made the tackle short of the line to gain.
Well, after looking like they were going to go for it, he sends the field goal team out. I'm really surprised by this.
I don't agree with this. Field goals are not going to beat Georgia.
No. And you've got the crowd into it. even a lot of early momentum here. And for a guy who's a former offensive lineman, you'd think he'd put it on his offensive line. That's done very well. 25-yard field goal for Burr. He's made his last 10. This rivalry dates back to 1893. These two head coaches played in it. They overlapped a little bit in the late 90s. Each went 3-1 against their rivals as players, 1-1 head-to-head. It was Georgia Tech winning in 1998 with Brent Key as a starting offensive guard. Georgia won in 1997 with Kirby Smart in the defensive backfield. Brent Key started 44 straight games at guard for George O'Leary, his mentor, back in the late 90s. Here's Beck on the run and throws it away. Georgia team 5th in the country in scoring offense. Better than 40 points per game. Chanelius Tatum dropped Dejon Edwards for a loss of 1. What might be the last play of this first quarter, although Georgia is scurrying the line up. And Beck is not going to snap it. Georgia Tech, the edge in play in the first quarter. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC. I think you could question the plan. If they're not going to go for it on 4th and short and kick field goals, that's the plan. It's not likely to be successful against the two-time defending national champs. It's working so far, though. Beck, there's a busted coverage on 3rd down and 11. Dejon Edwards, a long run across midfield. They're actually going to spot him right out at the 50-yard line. Georgia best in the country this year on 3rd down, 56.9% coming in. And 2 for 2 tonight, and now through a big hole, Kendall Milton. So the 31-yard line of the Jackets. Clayton Powell-Lee, the stop, a defensive back. Coached the outside linebackers when Kirby first got to Athens. There's a holdover from Mark Rickstaff. Here's Dylan Bell, dragged down by Clayton Powell-Lee, who saved the touchdown at the 3-yard line. 22 yards for Georgia.
And how about the block by Marius Mims, right tackle, just absolutely destroying one of the safeties for Georgia Tech. Led to a nice gain. Watch the right tackle, number 65. He's engaged with Jalen King and just sends him for a ride. And a great touchdown saving tackle there on the back by Clayton Powell-Lee.
First and goal for Georgia. The Bulldogs trying to take their first lead of the night. Kendall Milton, touchdown. The 3-yard rush is 9th touchdown of the season for the senior from Fresno, California. Georgia Tech lined up quickly, and stuffed was Jamal Hayes by Warren Brinson again in the middle of that defensive line. Wow.
That success outside the tackles. I would try to go there. I mean, up the middle, it's been tough sledding.
Yeah, King's been their best bet, keeping the ball. It's a play fake. Looked like he wanted to launch a long pass on 4th and 1. Instead, as Singleton on the comeback at the 41, and they convert.
Nazir, Stackhouse, Walt Howard, they're so good in the middle.
Smith. Tough run to the Georgia 40. 12 more. Chaz Chambliss the stop.
Goes right behind him for another nice gain on the stretch zone.
We mentioned how much Brent Key talked about toughness in our meeting. Here's some trickery, and it's King who winds up keeping it. Nifty play drawn by Buster Faulkner. They lined up Dante Smith as a Wildcat quarterback. He handed it off. Then King faked it, and I think that was a design run all the way, don't you?
Well, they had some guys take it off, but there's nobody there. And outside of Singleton, who runs 10-2 in the 100, there's nobody wearing a white jersey tonight that's as fast or as explosive as Haynes King. So a good decision to take off and get what you can get.
With 7 minutes to go in the first half, they are in field goal range for Aiden Burr. Haynes and Smith in the backfield together. And trouble. It looked like King was trying to pull it back and keep it and got tangled up with Jamal Haynes. And now the field goal team will come out. 45-yarder from Aiden Burr, who's 12 out of 13 this season. As a freshman, and that's a knuckleball that goes through. Georgia Tech hanging right in there with the #1 team in the country. You're watching ESPN Saturday Night Football on ABC in the half, leading 14-13. Beck, plenty of time, throws. Dylan Bell was open, they couldn't complete it.
Rare miss there from Carson Beck. That's two now that have been really off the mark, uncatchable. He has been absolutely ridiculously accurate the last couple weeks, so uncharacteristic misses on a couple throws already tonight.
Playing without Brock Bowers, who did warm up, but was clearly gimpy. He recovers from ankle surgery. He played in their last 2 games after missing 2. But Kirby Smart told us last night he's really been much more sore this past week than he had been after those previous couple of games. Here's Edwards running for the first down on 3rd and 9. Blitz from deep doesn't impact Beck at all. And there is Delp. More of a receiver than he is a blocker. That's his 20th catch of the year.
Can go 2 for 1 potentially.
Yep. No sign of it. Edwards remains the running back on the right hip of Beck. And Edwards lunges for the goal line. Touchdown.
Just a great run there by Edwards. It looked initially like he was going to be stopped by Clayton Powell-Lee. The progressive pylon cam shows that he runs right through the attempt of Powell-Lee, extends with nothing that touches the ground, and breaks the line to gain. Just a terrific run there by Edwards, bouncing back from the early fumble. Archers they've had the last couple years hasn't dropped off at all.
Play fake by King. He can't take a sack. He does. They'll have to use the timeout. Miller dropped him back at the 32.
And Miller engaged with the right tackle, Jordan Williams. He pushes Jordan Williams off its side, and Haynes King runs right into the pressure. You just can't do that if you're Haynes King. You have to know the circumstances. That essentially extinguishes any chance at a touchdown, because now you've had to call your last timeout. Might be able to heave one to the end zone, but
Miller's first career sack. Well, if you do run another play, it's risky.
Very.
He needs to wind up in the end zone, out of bounds or incomplete, where the half's going to end.
Yeah, you absolutely have to get the ball out of your hands, too. A sack here obviously extinguishes a chance of stealing points. So you have to get the ball out.
Burr's long is 48, and now George is going to use another timeout.
Where the slot is going to run a corner route, and the outside receiver is going to run a post. You read that safety to the right-hand side. In this particular case, it'd be Malachi Starks. So I'd look at something like this and see if you can't get out of bounds potentially.
And they throw it to the end zone, caught by Singleton, out of bounds.
It was a really good throw there by Haynes King. He's able to squeeze in there just a little bit too far outside, and even as he goes to the ground, Singleton, it looks like that ball might have even bobbled just a hair, but it's a small window he had to fit it into and let us settle for 3.
So now Aiden Burr, redshirt freshman, he missed all of last season with a knee injury suffered while he was in high school. His first year as the kicker, and his percentage is best in Georgia Tech history. David Shanahan, the punter, is the holder. Henry Freer, the snapper, from 49, no good.
The field goal attempt is no good. Your halftime score.
Snap and hold looked fine. He just pulled it wide left. And as we said earlier, I think if you keep having to kick field goals, you're not going to hang in there with Kirby Smart's team. No Ladd McConkey and no Brock Bowers, with 236 yards of offense in the half for Georgia. They lead by 8. We'll send you to the studio for the Capital One halftime report.
Georgia's taking advantage of that right now. 114 rushing yards there in the first half, nearly 7 yards per carry. The Yellow Jackets got to find an answer against the 1-2 punch.
And it's Mekhi Mews taking the opening kickoff. And another good return. He had a 34-yard kickoff return in the first half. This one's 37.
Right back inside. Nearly it picked off.
Georgia didn't have many third downs in the first half. They're 3 out of 3. Improving on their season 57% percentage that led the country coming in. 4 receivers, 3 to the left. On third down and 11, lots of time for Beck. Going deep for Bell, and he has it. Inbounds, it's a catch. The officials conferring, and they're going to mark it at the 24-yard line of Georgia Tech. 39 yards.
Amazing throw by Carson Beck, and how about the concentration from Bell? Looks like that right foot gets down as he secures the catch. Let's take a look right there. Does he have control?
He didn't have control of it.
Ball still moving a little bit there as that right foot goes down.
Georgia tried to go quickly to the line to snap it before a replay review.
The receiver bobbled the ball. The pass is incomplete.
Here's another look at it. And it really isn't until just now that it looked like Bell had it. Matt Austin, what do you think? That he could transfer. Got his degree from A&M. He had a relationship with Chris Weinke from his recruiting time. There's another ball through the hands of his receiver. That one for Chase Lane, the wide receiver with just 7 catches all year. After a wild start, the game has settled in a little bit. Here's Milton with lots of blockers out in front. And that'll get him over 100. Flores finally whistled or stopped forward progress at his own 43. 29 yards and 2 runs by Milton. Quiet night for Beck. They've not asked him to throw it much. 8 out of 13. Milton again. And why would you throw it when he can get you 9.5 per carry? Neither team has had a 2-score lead tonight. This 8-point advantage for Georgia, the largest for either side. Beck over the middle, caught. Dominic Lovett, first down inside the 30 with Jalen King, the outstanding 6th-year safety right there for Georgia Tech. Four catches for 60 yards for Lovett. Arian Smith, a rare touch. He can move. He's been a sprinter on the track team. They'd like to get him the ball more often. He's had trouble being a consistent catcher of the football. That's a 12-yard gain.
But he puts fear in the defense every time he's on the field. All you got to do is watch the game against Ohio State in the semifinal last year. Incredible top-end speed, inconsistent with his hands. That's why he hasn't really been a factor in the passing game. But Mike Bobo acknowledges they have to get him more involved because he could be a big play threat when the competition intensifies.
Congratulations to Mike Bobo, one of the semifinals for the Broyles Award to the top assistant coach in the country. Well deserved. Dejan Edwards.
Good for him and his son.
Second and 11. And drop for a loss. Edwards by Micaiah Scott, the transfer from South Carolina. Loss of 3.
Big play there by Micaiah Scott. Really one of the few times George has been behind the sticks tonight. Usually in this part of the field, third down, you're looking in the direction of Brock Bowers, but with him being unavailable, probably going to try to work Dylan Bell, who's down at the bottom of the screen. He's their most versatile weapon. See if they get a one-on-one situation with him. That might be the direction they're looking.
Five receivers, 3 to Carson Beck's left. It's a quick throw to the left through the hands of Mekhi Mews. Finally whistled incomplete. Players are scrambling for the ball. So Kirby Smart sends the field goal team on to try to get the first 2-score lead of the night for either side.
And the ball's maybe just a touch high, but one that you would anticipate Mews being able to reel in. They get third and long situation. They run the tunnel screen, and it's been very effective, but that time it never got started.
So here's Peyton Woodring, the true freshman from Lafayette, Louisiana, who has made 15 in a row. He's 19 out of 22. This is from 39. Carson Beck is the holder. You don't see that very often, the starting quarterback as the holder around college football.
And as the primary cover guy this year, he's given up just 10 completions. So if you can get one in the tight coverage that he provides, keep the ball, because it doesn't happen very often.
Here's a keeper by Haynes King, and he's driven back by Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, and driven back apparently a little too much.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary weapons. Defense number 93, 15-yard penalty.
It was a great play by Ingram Dawkins initially, but here at the end he shoves Haynes King right there, and that's what drew the flag. It's just completely unnecessary. He's totally bottled up, but as he pushes him, it's right in front of the center judge. And the reaction on the Georgia sideline tells you all you need to know. And Kirby Smart talking to his player calmly, just saying, hey man, end it just a little sooner and they would be off the field.
Fourth Georgia penalty. King over his last 5 passing. Deep down the sidelines and incomplete. He had Jamal Haynes open with a linebacker in coverage, C.J. Allen. 2 out of 9 on third down. Another area where they're much improved this year is on third down. That one is incomplete in the general direction of Eric Singleton. On fourth down, a wobbler down the middle. Incomplete. There is a flag. Intended for Scyther. Smile Munden in coverage. It looked like the ball might have been tipped. That's why it wobbled, and that's what Kirby Smart's saying.
Pass interference. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Either that or he just threw a really ugly pass.
Ball was definitely wobbling significantly, and it looked like Zion Logue applying the pressure right up the middle. Might have gotten a hand on it. It looks like he did. So in the event in which it's tipped, then it would not be pass interference. This might be one they need to take a look at.
And here comes the whistle just as Georgia Tech was about to snap it. If they were a little quicker to snap it, they might have gotten away with it.
The play is under review to determine if the ball was tipped.
And it clearly was. 9 under Key. That is significant and quick improvement.
Yeah, and they've done a good job of adding some key pieces too. It's a freshman.
After further review, the ball was tipped. Therefore, there is no foul for defensive pass interference. The result of the play is a turnover and down. First down, Georgia.
Offered the job last year, but he wanted to stay with Tulane through the bowl game. Key, a popular choice among the alumni and getting more popular with the success that they're having in his first full year. Here's Dylan Bell with a lot of blockers and not many white shirts. Gets away from an attempted tackle around the head and gets down to the 26-yard line. And Mike Bobo, creative play caller, play designer, finding a lot of ways to use him. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter. That one caught and fighting for the first down is Bell. Great effort by the sophomore from Houston. By themselves, Alabama won 28 in a row twice. Once under Bear Bryant, once under Gene Stallings. Swing pass to Dominic Lovett inside the 5 and near another first down at the 3. And all the little things they do well too, using the clock with the lead. Now they run quickly over the ball, trying to catch the Jackets off guard, and perhaps they did. As Milton, with very little resistance, as he scores a touchdown. Players as well, including Mike Bobo. One of the most memorable sequences in this rivalry. Thought he had thrown an interception in 1997. It was picked off, but Travaris Tillman called for pass interference. So Bobo got another chance. He hit Corey Allen for an 8-yard touchdown with 8 seconds left. There's the two of them, Travaris Tillman, who's on the Georgia Tech staff. Georgia won it 27-24. You saw Kirby Smart celebrating the victory with Bobo. They were teammates back there in 1997. Brent Key was an offensive lineman on that Georgia Tech team.
Can't even imagine what that conversation would be like. Do you think still to this day Tillman tries to defend that it wasn't pass interference, or you think he's accepted the penalty at this point?
I think that's one of those things you never let go.
I didn't grab him.
Mike Bobo said he thought he had blown the game and was very happy to see the flag.
That is the end of the third quarter.
10 unanswered points in the quarter for Georgia. Seemingly on their way to win number 29 in a row. Back. Yeah, they have. They've only given up one touchdown tonight, and that was the opening score of the game on a short field when they turned it over, and Georgia Tech only had to go 37 yards for the touchdown. Jackets have had only 2 field goals since. Have not scored since the second quarter. Here's Singleton. Eric Singleton. Malachi Starks trying to run him down. Out of bounds, just shy of the 10-yard line.
To Tyke Smith, and Singleton's out the gate.
Scored that as a pass play for 57, and that run dropped by Tyke Smith. Their leading tackler for the year, he dropped Dante Smith for a loss of a yard.
Hammer it up inside with their backs. I mean, Haynes King with the misdirection stuff has been very difficult to defend tonight, and really all throughout the season.
2 out of 10 on third down. Here comes some late pressure. King lost the ball. Marvin Jones Jr. got there, and the Jackets got it back. The way back at the 23-yard line. Corey Robinson, the tackle, recovered it.
And it was a great green dog pressure by the freshman Raylan Wilson. He recognizes that the offensive line had all engaged. He decides to go. He attacks King, forces him out of the pocket, and then as he escapes, there's really nowhere else to go as he tries to turn back inside, and Marvin Jones dislodges the football.
His first sack of the season. So here's Aiden Burr. 2 out of 3 tonight. This one a 40-yard attempt. And it's good. And that does get them back within 2 scores, down by 15 with 12:13 to go in Atlanta. Kirby Smart, Georgia going for their 29th straight win. That would be the SEC record all by themselves. I mentioned a moment ago Alabama won 28 in a row twice. It would be their 21st consecutive non-conference win. Their 15th straight on the road. Their 14 wins in a row is the longest active streak in FBS football and road wins. Second longest in SEC history. Alabama 21 road wins in a row back in the early and mid 70s. They've won 38 straight regular season games. A short kickoff goes to Dylan Bell, and Kyle Eifert stopped him, but not until he crossed midfield and then some. To the 11-0 start. Georgia and Oregon, the only 2 teams in the country in the top 10 in both scoring offense and scoring defense. Beck throws on the run, caught Arian Smith. Nice night for him, perhaps build his confidence and get him a little more involved. .11 minutes to go. Edwards, nice cut back to his left. First down. 15 yards for Edwards. 39 as a team. They've rushed for 219.
Those 2 guys really complement each other well. Milton really more the downhill guy. Edwards very patient, decisive, with great acceleration when the hole opens.
Kendall Milton back in at running back now. Beck single coverage. Caught. Dylan Bell won the battle. There's a flag down near the 10-yard line. Rodney Shelley had the coverage.
Remember the receiver downfield. Offense number 63. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
The center Cedric Van Pran made his 42nd consecutive start for Georgia tonight.
We're going to see Van Pran kind of meander his way downfield. Now he has to be 3 yards downfield or more for it to be an ineligible downfield. When the ball is released from Carson Beck's hand, it looked like it was really close. And Kirby Smart, justifiably a little frustrated because it did not look like Van Pran had gotten that far downfield when the ball came out of Beck's hand.
And that's one of those, when you go back and look at tapes, you could call a lot more often than it is called. So they're back to second down and 20. Blitz off the corner. Back, pressured. Takes off running. Carson Beck. Looking like his idol when he grew up in Jacksonville, Tim Tebow. 15-yard run for number 15.
And that's one part of his game that I don't think gets enough respect. He's not a blazing speed guy, but he's a pretty good runner, and he's big and physical and can break through arm tackles. So he can definitely get out and create some problems for you if you are overly aggressive in your pass rush.
Very good athlete. He was a talented pitcher in high school. In fact, as a freshman in high school, he committed to the University of Florida baseball program. Given all kinds of time into the end zone, and it is intercepted. KJ Wallace came away with it after a ricochet off Jalen King. And a number of those balls pinball around tonight. So looked like they were going to score a couple of times. Penalties stopped them, and now the turnover. So it looked like Georgia was about to put this away, go back to a 3-score lead. KJ Wallace, the interception, his first of the season, second year here as a transfer from Notre Dame. Malik Rutherford bounces off a tackle and gets enough extra yardage for a first down. Now they want a flag on Marvin Jones Jr. on the sideline, but there is not a flag thrown.
Looks like at that point was a little bit of a grab there by Marvin Jones, where he kind of threw him to the ground a little bit. He was clearly outside right there. I mean, I'm surprised, right in front of Brent Key too. I'm shocked they didn't call the foul there.
This tackle by Allen allowed the first down. Here's Malik Rutherford. Well, they can go down and score a touchdown here. It's going to get much more interesting in a hurry. That's a 13-yard completion to the redshirt sophomore from Miami. All right, thank you, Kevin. Former Alabama quarterback, not far from me. Watched the end of that game with great interest. You surprised they didn't rush more people? Auburn.
I was really surprised on 4th and 31 to play that passively. It was a great throw and a great catch, and my reaction was not understated.
No, it was not. I mean, Alabama that close to being out of the college football playoff picture. Here's Jamal Haynes. They'll mark him down to the 24. And Georgia Tech trying to get back within a touchdown. That's a 23-yard run. Must get a touchdown here. Another field goal doesn't really do them any good with 5.5 to go. Dante Smith trying to break free from Raylan Wilson. Got very close to the first down. And this is pretty much the ball game here for Brent Key. Need a 4th down conversion. Down by 2 touchdowns.
They've gotten stoned up the middle too on short yardage situations. Maybe try something to the edge where Georgia's had a little bit lesser time stopping them.
Dante Smith got enough before he was driven back. First down, Georgia Tech. The clock continues to run. 4:45. Zach Pyron, the backup quarterback, has come onto the field. And Haynes King is out there too. As a matter of fact, King is the one wide to the left. So here's Pyron, a redshirt freshman. Looked like it was a design run. Then it looked like he was going to throw, and he squirts down the sideline. Looked like a lot of things. It looked like it was going to wind up being nothing, and all of a sudden he got 8.
Well done.
Well, you're hoping all day he'd get in. And how lucky are we? It was near the goal line. Haynes King, another touchdown. His second rushing touchdown of the game. They'll go for 1 and try to make it an 8-point game.
Just a great job. They fake a little speed option pitch to the outside. They have counter action inside Fusel and Seither. Get great blocks on the edge, and King walks into the end zone for the second time.
On a cold Saturday night in the capital of Georgia. The Yellow Jackets trying to end a 5-game losing streak in this battle for the unofficial state championship. Meanwhile, Georgia trying to get its 29th straight win. Be the longest streak in SEC history all by themselves. Georgia Tech trying to beat number 1 for the 3rd time in school history. They're 2-12-1 all time against number 1s. The last win was way back in 1990 when they won at number 1 Virginia by 3, and that was big. Georgia Tech went on to win the national championship, split national championship with Colorado. They won the coaches poll, finished 11-0-1. Onside kick handled well. Yes, you have no faith in your run defense to stop Georgia because it's a one-score game and you have all 3 of your timeouts, but you've only made them punt once all night.
Exactly, and they've also had a very difficult time on kick coverage tonight too. 3 different kick returns that have gone for 30-plus yards, so Brent Key decides to roll the dice with the onside kick. I think it's probably the right move too, knowing how much his defense has struggled throughout the course of this game stopping the run.
The Dogs in no hurry. Carson Beck goes under center with Edwards, the running back. Play fake. He sidesteps the rush and slides down short of the first down. They'll mark it back at the 41, comfortably short by about 3 yards. It was Braylon Oliver who brought the quick pressure that forced Beck to change what he had in mind. And I think Kirby's saying he slid 3 yards short of the first down.
It looked like that slide was initiated around the 40-yard line. He's stopped all the way back at around the 42. So here's Beck as he escapes.
As soon as you start into it, I think they got the spot right. So it's 3rd down and 3. With 2:52 to go, Tech has used one of its timeouts, 2 remaining. We mentioned Carson Beck, freshman in high school, commits to Florida to play baseball. So how'd you change your mind? He said, well, I had a really good football season. Then a bunch of football schools came after me. Alabama the next year said, you can play football and basketball, football and baseball here on a full football scholarship. He said, well, the full ride's better than the not full ride I was going to get from Florida. Then he kept getting better in high school football. Many other schools came after him in recruiting, and he decided to come to Georgia instead. Oh, for their last 3 on 3rd down. Edwards chugging for the first down. They had a chance to stop him near the line of scrimmage and couldn't tackle him. Kevin Shear's defense desperately needed a stop. It looked like they might get it. Kyle Eifert.
He ran through unblocked. Chance to tackle Edwards in the backfield. Edwards slides inside and surges forward for the conversion. Just a bad missed tackle there from Eifert, who's been excellent the last couple weeks, but a big opportunity there missed for the Ramblin' Wreck. Last night was sensational, but man, it's hard to overlook what Jaden Daniels has done, even though he's on the 3-loss team.
Winner of that one would have a great shot to be in the college football playoff. Here's Kendall Milton. What a night for Milton. Dragging Jackets with him. Improving on his career high. And that should just about do it. Another first down, only 1 timeout left. And reality setting in among the Georgia Tech fans. This will be 6 straight losses.
I think Georgia wins. Obviously, they take care of business. They're
if Georgia goes undefeated, obviously they're in. Alabama's out.
Yeah,
but were Alabama to win, that could make for some very interesting scenarios, including one where maybe Georgia doesn't get in.
Right, and I think that would be wild too, considering a team will have won 29 of the last 30 would be left out, but it's only about this year, and just so happens the field competing for those 4 playoff spots are about as deep as it's been in quite some time.
We're going to go into the victory formation. Georgia Tech can stop it once if it wants to. And it wants to. Brent Key. So no timeouts left. And barring the kind of mistake that Miami made against Georgia Tech, it's going to be a win for Kirby Smart. And another perfect regular season. 12-0. Undefeated in the regular season for the 3rd season in a row.
It's crazy. And this team, we've mentioned resilient, and that's what Kirby Smart is discussed. I mean, this team is resilient. They are excellent. They've dealt with a lot of injuries. I mean, guys in and out of the lineup, lack of continuity. Some guys banged up in fall camp, only now starting to play their best football, like Mykel Williams. But man, here at the time of the year you want to be playing your best, they're certainly rounding into form.
They're the first SEC school to go 8-0 in conference play in 3 straight seasons. And if they were to beat Alabama next week, they'd join Florida 1995 and 96 as the only SEC schools to go 8-0 and win the SEC championship game in consecutive years.
It's remarkable what they've built, and with some of the young players that are already contributing on both sides of the ball, it'd be tough to envision them dropping off anytime soon.
So that's it. Valiant effort by the Yellow Jackets comes up short. And Georgia has won 29 straight games, now all alone with the longest winning streak in Southeastern Conference history.